Welcome back, everyone. Another edition of the Flying Lion podcast, a reaction video for a 3-0 victory for FC Cincinnati against Inter Miami. Sam, got to be feeling good about this one.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this might be one of the best Wednesday night games we've ever had, Ryan. I mean, a 3-0 Yeah.
Wins, W-I-N.
Oh,
Yes.
I see. Okay. The dad's coming out of Ryan right now, people. I was not ready for it. That caught me off guard like a lot. But yes, Wednesday, if you want to call it that. Definitely one of the best Wednesday night, MLS matches we've ever had, midweek matches, whatever you want to call it. 3-0 dub against Inter Miami. This was huge, not only for FC Cincinnati to rewrite the ship, Ryan, but I know we'll talk about it here a little bit more. Evander for his MVP case.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about in this one. Awesome match. Quick turnaround from Saturday. Honestly, it was probably a good thing for the guys not to really think about it too much and just go back on the field and just play, just get back into it.
That's how you always want it to be, right? Like whenever something like that happens, right? Like especially a big loss, like people are talking like Super Bowl or national championship, like they just want to like go play again. Like So yeah, I mean the fact that that was, I mean, it's not our Super Bowl, but it kind of is against your rival team, you know? Absolutely.
Yeah. True. No, so hands up accountability here, from me, hopefully from Sam as well.
Me too.
Were very much off. So for those who listened earlier on in the week, but
I will say, Ryan, I was a game ahead though, or a game behind.
Okay.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Okay.
You gonna predict Saturday if you said a game?
No, I'm saying I predicted a 3-0 win for Saturday.
Oh, I see. Okay. I thought you meant
the wrong game. It was the wrong
prediction
game.
to lose was a game ahead. So
no, it was the wrong game that I thought of. 3-0. That's my bad. That's mine.
Hey, all good. So again, awesome night for this one. Like I said, quick turnaround from Saturday. We did get news, Sam, since we were on last, that Kevin Denke unfortunately is injured. Pat confirmed after this match that he was injured in the first 20 minutes of Hell Is Real, so that makes a lot of sense. Again, hand up, like saying, like, all right, we knew something looked a little bit off with Denke. I don't think he even knew that something was off. Like, apparently he's never been injured before. So on socials today, he was posting about, saying essentially like, look, I might be gone for a little while. I'm going to go rest, recover, come back stronger than ever. Pat's saying a couple of weeks with a leg injury. It seems like at least a month if he's going to say he's going to be going away for a little bit.
And this is why we love Kevin Denke. That kind of post, Ryan, you see from a guy that has a season-ending injury, right? This guy's going to be out for a couple weeks, and he's like, I am so sorry. Like, to all my fans out there, like, I appreciate you guys.
If he's never been injured, he's probably like, what do I do? Like,
I know, but he's like, oh my gosh, like this sucks. I really want to play. It's like, man, this guy, like,
but what a guy for saying that.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable dude. He's so strong. Like we thought, like he played through potentially an injury, but you never want that to like continue something and make it worse. But that's all a side note. That's a preface to this one and building up to what this game was. Because lineup wise, Sam, if we look at what this rolled out to be, very much similar, to the game before. But obviously you see Dado slide in to the starting role.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe this is the first time we see a starting spot with Dado and Kamara up top, if I'm not mistaken. Usually it's either one or the other, exchanging for each other. But yeah, that was nice to see. And then obviously on the bench, you get Santos first, appearance on the bench for, I think, what was it, May 31st, right? Or something like that. So it's been a long time. And then Ryan, Nick Hagelin, he's on the bench. I don't believe we saw him in this match, but maybe next match he'll be able to, make some FC Cincinnati history.
Yeah, no, I was saying like immediately when he had gotten hurt, I was thinking at least based on the injuries, timeline wise, it'd be about 6 to 8 weeks. And I think it's roughly been about, 6 to 8 weeks since he got injured. So you could feel his presence, every time he's on the bench, he's at least very vocal. When he was down in the corner, he was getting applause from the crowd. But Nick's presence like on the team is huge. And you saw prior to his injury, like the run that we went on. So yeah, love having Hags back. That's good for the morale of the team and everything, especially after, what Saturday was. But lineup wise, Sam, from my standpoint, like I think there's a lot of questions. Would the left side look similar? Would there be any changes, especially against a Miami team that by all means was on a heater? They had come in and they hadn't lost for several MLS matches. They were coming in a little bit banged up because they've played so many matches in Club World Cup. So questions about fatigue, having a midweek match, would these guys play or not? All kind of squandered, and they start their, by all means, best starting 11 that we know of. You do get Messi in there, you do get Busquets, you get Alba as well. So a solid overall matchup. But the matchup we really wanted to see was that Evander Messi, potential MVP showdown there. And one guy took it by the horns. So shout out to Evander. We'll kind of roll into this one. Sam, being in the stadium for me, 2 match days in a row now with theme nights. Let's keep this rolling, man. Let's
what do you do next?
Do you want to alternate? Let's do white next time.
Yeah, okay.
Then we'll go back to orange. Then we'll go to blue again. The blue out was awesome. Very well executed again. Flags were a very, very nice touch. You could probably see it on the broadcast as well. But in the stadium, it made it feel even more intimidating. You had all of the people in the Bailey waving it, but honestly, everyone around the stadium, beginning of the match, at the very end of the match, I thought it was awesome. It is tough, I will say, to wave a larger flag versus the rally towel from the last week. So that's my one critique on it, but it was a very, very cool touch.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the blue out looked good. Even the commentators were talking about it and saying, for as much as they did the orange out and then now the blue out, you actually didn't see too many pink jerseys out there. Which was very well done by our fans. Usually those are the two, right? We want to see any yellow jerseys or pink jerseys anywhere in the stadium.
Yeah, and the broadcast seems that way. There was a decent amount, of pink in there, but washed away by the blue and the flags.
Absolutely.
It was well done. But as we roll into this match, the first 10 minutes is definitely a feeling out process. Kamara almost gets a goal in the first minute for a second consecutive game now for FC Cincinnati to potentially go up 1-0. He has a breakaway where, I'm going back and looking at this one because I do see it live, but you kind of miss it because of how quick, the 40-year-old was running there. I kid, but he headed the ball past Falcone and he runs down, cuts in on his left, back on his right, hits it upper 90 and forces a decent save. So to start the match, just to have a little bit of like, hey, we're going to take it to this team. We don't care who they are. We know what happened the prior time we were out here, and we want to make our fans excited to be here and proud of this team.
I think
that was the very first thing that I saw that was like positive and like, all right, this team is here and ready to go.
When Kamara gets his first goal, Ryan, we need to put out a poll that says which, I guess, which streak was worse, Kamara's, Overshadows, or Corey Baird's. Like,
it's tough.
You put those are like the big 3 streaks of like those guys having so many chances the past 2 seasons and just not
Kamara's going to get one.
Anything. I know.
I feel it. I feel like RSL is the moment. I think he's going to get one. But hey, 16th minute though, again, we were on the front foot of things, and shout out Luca Orshano for this game, just playing out of his mind. Obviously he's playing against his idol and he's going to elevate his game. But it gave me vibes of 2024 Luka. Like, he just came out, was taking guys on, had another gear in this one. So in the 16th minute, he takes on 2 guys, cuts in on the right, slots the ball through to Dado into the box, who puts it away left-footed. Beautiful finish by Dado. Kind of a really cool stat here, Sam. Dado's now had 2 goals in 3 matches against the team that he was in the academy for until 2020 when he came to FC Cincinnati. Dado likes playing Miami.
Yeah, I would say those are 2 guys that, got to be a part of a goal together. Orshano against, like you said, his idol, somebody he looks up to, and Dado, I'm sure, looks up to Messi as well, former team. So 2 guys that kind of have a little extra oomph coming into this game. But yeah, absolutely phenomenal finish by Dado to put this one away. You weren't really sure what the angle was going to be for him there, but absolutely put enough pace on that ball to get it past the keeper.
Yeah, and obviously, like, we can look back on it now and say, Dado was the right choice and he scored. But you're looking at Denke not being available, and then you get the production that you do out of Dado in this moment. And man, he looked pretty solid with Kamara up there. So shout out to him for getting his 5th of the season now in MLS play. He's had a breakout season. We got to find some time for this guy, to be up top or wherever he fits in best. But I think, honestly, him and Evander have found a nice little connection, Sam. We talk about a mentor in Evander. We had talked about it earlier on in the season, but, would the same have been said if Dado stayed in Miami? With all the other names and pieces, Dado's really found a little bit of a spark this season in his connections, honestly through Evander, which has been really cool. So just a little side note on that one. The rest of the half kind of rolls along, and, I think we hit around the 40th minute, and I'm thinking to myself, well, this is about when it, came off the train the last week. So around the 44th minute, you see a little bit more intensity in the Miami squad. The ball's played through, I think, by Busquets actually over the top to Suarez. I'm actually shocked that our guys take so long to get over this and he could head it to almost a wide open Messi at the top of the 6, which, again, I don't know how you leave this guy wide open where he is. It almost seems like Engel makes the decision to back off a little bit in anticipation to block the shot, and he times it perfectly. That was a real big chance in the first half. It could have easily been 1-1 there. Followed up by couple minutes later, transition moment where Miles Robinson dribbles into traffic, loses the ball. They're coming right down our throat. Messi's at the top of the box, and you've seen how this one's ended before. Luckily, he has a bad shot. Roman saves it. It could have easily been 1-1 going into half, but they didn't. So 1-0 lead going into half. I feel pretty solid at that point about it. And you're saying, you know what? I feel pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. You feel like you controlled most of the first half. Up until about, like you said, the 40th minute around there. I feel like FC Cincinnati even had some more chances to make it, 2-0 in the first half. So, yeah, I think looking at the last game to this game, you're going, okay, I feel really good about, this first half. Now let's get a couple more, or at least one more here in this second half.
Yeah, no, and I think I tweeted it out actually at half, just with the fact that Miami was playing such a very high line, which a lot of teams, I think they want us to break them down. Like, they've seen that be one of our weaknesses. So for them to kind of really be up, it left a lot of space behind, and that created opportunities in the first half. I wanted to see how that would translate to the second half. We did get a nice transition moment, Sam, 5 minutes out of half, brilliant again, just to say, let's go and find this second. And in the 50th moment, Buka in transition runs down right side of the box, plays a ball that I think he's probably playing to Evander. It's a little bit into traffic. Evander's got like one of the nicest touches on this play. So casual with it. It's kind of like right into his stride, but he pops it right over Busquets' leg. He gets into a position where Kramaski's out of the way as well. And he kind of just shields him off and places it brilliantly with, I think it was his left boot, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, phenomenal finish by Evander here. Like you said, the control to be able to handle that situation with about 2 or 3 bodies around him, honestly. But yeah, like you said, it all starts with Buka being able to find the space and carry that ball outside the 18 and find Evander there a little around the 18 there, middle of the 18. But yeah, calm, cool, collected finish after that one, and that was only his first calm, cool, collected finish.
Well, it's funny because, like, everyone who's watching this game, you see him sky like 3 balls over the goal by like a long shot. And then his corner right before this play is like way over the goal, and it doesn't even give us a chance to score. So at that moment, I was like, all right, Evander, like, let's see it. Let's put it on here, buddy. And I didn't even need to say it. Like, he found his moment. And really, that's what he's done. I think people have commented after the game, Pat Noonan included, early on in the season, he was trying to force things and find his way into the game, where now he's kind of letting it come to him, but making the most of his chances. He is so smooth with the ball, but very underrated in terms of how he can hold people off. I think that's the one thing I've been impressed with is yeah, he looks so casual with it sometimes, but when he has pressure on him, he is very calm with it and actually is a little bit stronger than some of the other number 10s across the league, I would say, which makes, it's hard to get it off his foot.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ryan, I mean, 70th minute, we get some more Luca Orishano action. 1v1 takes the guy in, and I mean, what an incredible just reaction by Evander. Orishano puts this shot on goal, and the keeper kind of spills it out. Also, to make a note, this is their second string keeper who came out in the first half. So not used to being, in that situation, thrown into the fire, if you will. And Evander's right there to clean up the mess, if you will. Just a nice little follow up and his second easy finish of the night. And he's got a brace, Ryan. This guy is just everywhere.
Yeah, I was going bonkers just because, it's him, just right in the right moment at the right time. Smart soccer IQ just to know that, like, hey, there's a chance that this ball deflects and he's right in the right spot, and that's where you want to be. He's not a striker, but he puts himself in a really good position like strikers, should technically. Sam, for me, in this one, like you had made a great comment about, is the backup keeper. I had said, let's get many shots on this guy. Let's test this guy. Their backup is a 23-year-old who hasn't really played a ton of minutes. And I think that plays into what happens and honestly is the tipping point. If it's 2-0, maybe if they get one back, they again can feel like they're back in it.
Well,
that's get a third in the 70th minute. You don't have that much time to go back. Obviously, you have great talent from their side, but it diminishes some of that. It was a hot night, a lot of guys that were fatigued. I think after the 70th minute, it was almost like they kind of roll over and die a little bit. Messi was walking around and not really doing much. So it was important to get that third.
Yeah, like you said, as an FC fan, especially going through what we went through, on Saturday, right?
True.
2-0 is not secure. So that third one, you're able to take kind of that deep breath and really celebrate, like you said, like go crazy for the third one because it's done. Kind of the nails in the coffin there. And I mean, luckily, Miami was kind of just tired. They were just tired when they got down 3-0. It kind of just, we don't really feel like fighting back. And like you said, we finished them off. First time we've seen kind of a full 90. Like you said in the tweet, all year, this might be the best full 90.
Well, I was watching this game and I'm like, man, for a lot of what we had called him out for, in this previous episode, like, all right, let's see the left side do better. Okay, Luca did.
Done.
Let's see him play a complete 90 minutes. All right, they did. It's like, all right, maybe they were listening a little bit. Obviously this is
their premier podcast. Yeah, they listen to it every week. Yeah.
I'm sure they were all just so upset. It sounded like even some of the posts that they were saying, like it was like, hey, we're so sorry. We're going to make this right. And they certainly did. So, coming out of this one, second in the East now, second in Supporter Shield by only 1 point of Philly. First clean sheet, Sam, since June 14th. That was a 1-0 victory against New England away. Pretty cool to see a clean sheet, for Roman to have that. And for the defense, honestly, just to say, we can do this. Let's do this again. Let's keep it up this way. But now, Sam, I think you put this one out. I'll let you tell us a pretty interesting stat against Miami.
Yeah, you would come at me with the past 2 seasons, right? What it looked like at home, and I went, it's even better. So since I believe it was March 19th, 2022, we are a combined scoreline of 13-2 at home against Inter Miami in MLS play.
Pretty solid.
That's insane. That's pretty good.
4 straight wins, if I'm not mistaken, as well, in TQL against them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's impressive, honestly. Now let's go do it. At the time it was 10 days, now 9 days. Till we play them again in Miami. So how's that quick adjustment going to look like? Obviously, we'll talk about that one later at some point. Probably not this episode, but Sam, team of the match day for Evander. Player of the match day. He's just continuing to roll along here, man. 8th team of the match day this season. 2nd player of the match day honor for him. I think Messi's the only one with more, maybe Anders Dreyer as well. But
Mhm.
Lucho had the record with 12, and that was last season for Team of the Match Day honors. He's already at 8. I think he could definitely get to 12. That's doable for him the way
Yeah.
that he's been playing. And then Pat Noonan gets Coach of the Match Day as well. Shout out to him.
Yeah, his second of the season. I believe he got it not a week ago, but 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah,
Yeah.
against after Orlando.
Yeah. So obviously Noonan's finally getting his due credit this season, and it's coming, in the middle of honestly one of the toughest part of our schedule we were looking at. So I think he obviously deserves all the credit. But Ryan, jumping straight into storylines after this match, we've got a lot of things that we could talk about. But first one is just this bounce back. I mean, everybody kind of, like you said, harped on it, and the players felt it. They were sorry, and they were like, we need to come out better, like way better.
Yeah, no, I mean, we haven't lost 2 in a row this season. So this team's got fight, when it comes to after a loss like that. Now, let's see, in the future, if we don't get those type of games in big matches, that's a different conversation, different time. But yeah, great bounce back by them. It helps that you're playing this one at home. I think that's the nice part on a short rest. But you don't have, like I mentioned earlier, you don't have time to think about it. You just go and play. And, maybe there was some scouting involved. We asked, how are we going to mark Messi? And Sam, no, we did not see one of the center backs go man-to-man on him. But Pavel Buka, man, was picking his pocket right and left. Anunga shut him down there. I mean, every time this guy was on the ball, we had swarms around him, and honestly just made him play the ball away, which is the way that you play Messi, is like, as long as it's not on his feet, but then you have to track him. You have to know where he's at. And the communication on this night was top tier. So for them to bounce back in this moment, big deal. Great 3 points. It actually helps because Nashville wins against Columbus. So we're still pushing, and that game doesn't look as bad now. If we want to say, obviously it's still bad, but in the grand scheme of what this season looks like, I'm happy about that. But Sam, the big storyline coming out of this one, your MVP candidates, Evander v. Messi. We wanted to see this showdown. First time we had seen it for him being at FCC versus, Messi with Miami. Man, what a statement game by Evander.
Yeah, you want to talk about shutting down Messi. You got to put points up on the board. You got to put goals up on the board in order to, achieve what the defense. I mean, phenomenal job, but offense showed up as well to be able to, kind of take the air out of the building for Miami, really, and all those fake Messi fans with the 10 jerseys. But yeah, Ryan, I mean, Evander, 8 goals now and 2 assists in 5 matches, like insane. And everybody saw the stat too. This is 5th straight game with a goal. New FC Cincinnati record. What did we say? This guy week to week is going to set new records for us, and I believe. I think, who was it? Patrick O'Leary or Carter, I think they put out the fact that he's like 4th in, or 5th right now, tied for 4th or 5th for goals in a single season, right? For FC Cincinnati history already.
Yeah, no, because the record's 18. You're right. And so for at least in the MLS competitions, he's got 15 now, 8 assists in 21 matches. I mean, what an unbelievable stat that is. He's tied for second in, combined goals and assists with Messi, only behind Anders Dreyer by 2. This guy's building his campaign. All the players said it after this match was, look at our player that we have. Look at our number 10. This guy deserves it. All the talk's been Anders Dreyer, Messi.
Well, you also heard the fans.
The fans were shouting it to the player. I just love to hear his own guys being like, this guy deserves it. And it's crazy to me coming out of this one, the parallels to last season. Last season, when we talked about this 6-1 victory for FCC against Miami, Sam, we were talking about Lucho being the MVP last season, right at this point of the season, versus now we're talking about Evander. It's unbelievable to have this player step in and to honestly be even better. He's not on the historic run quite yet of what we've seen with Lucho. So 2024, Sam, in 8 games, Lucho had 5 goals and 7 assists. But in 5 matches, he's had 8 goals and 2 assists. And he's still got, 3 more matches to kind of match that or even go even past that. So I'm looking forward to see, at RSL, this guy is on a heater. Sam, you brought up his stat about his XG earlier on in the season. This guy sits at 5.5 expected goals for the season.
Yeah.
He's got 15 goals in the MLS play.
He's got 3 times the amount of goals than his XG.
That's telling you he's just having some stupid good goals. It's unbelievable.
I don't know, man. The goals that he scores is pretty insane.
I want to put this out here. I haven't seen it around the FCC circles, so everyone circle back to this. I'll probably tweet it out as well. Evander came in with a buzzed head to FC Cincinnati. This guy is growing his fro out. I don't think he cuts his hair until he's off of this heater. How big can Evander's fro get?
I think we need to start like photoshopping, right? Like how big it can get, and
for
then
every goal we add a layer.
Yeah, exactly. We vote on how many goals is like a layer. Like he needs 5 more goals in order to get to Fellaini. Maybe
I would actually that would be so pretty. That would be awesome to see. I think we should make it happen. We're gonna put it out there. Every single game, it's a little bit longer.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
I love it. It's probably warm in the summer, but Evander doesn't care.
Goals are goals.
Goals are goals. Hey, Sam, in this game, Messi was negated. Our defense, like we talked about, shut him down. This is wild, all right? You ready for this stat? FotMob, so the app that, will tell us all about world soccer, had him rated in this match at a 5.8 rating, which is his worst in a year. If you go to another app who I don't have it off the top of my head, but I have it here, Sofa Score, so another big world soccer app, had him at a 7.2. Where's the discrepancy between a 7.2 and a 5.8? So this is wild. Lost the most duels of anyone in the match. He had 7 duels that he lost. He was dispossessed 5 different times. I saw another stat that it was like closer to like almost 20 times he was dispossessed. It almost felt like every time like he was on the ball, we had another guy coming up from behind and stealing it from him. And then Sam, at the end of the match, he didn't shake hands with anyone, left the field immediately.
Somebody's a little salty.
Statement.
Yeah.
Somebody's a little salty
there.
I love it. Sam, we're the only MLS team that he's played and hasn't scored against in his time in the MLS.
Rightfully so. Come to the fortress. You best come with heat, and he just doesn't come with it. But yeah, that's to not shake hands and kind of, hey, maybe give a shout out to Evander, maybe swap 10 jerseys. That would have been cool. But yeah, that's all right. On to the next one, Ryan. On to the next match.
Yeah, I don't want to call it out too much because you know what this guy can do.
Yeah.
But coming out of this one, you feel solid about it. But you go and you play on Saturday. You play at altitude. You're going to Real Salt Lake. Coming out of this one, from all we know, should be a healthier squad. It's good to see, again, Hagelin there. It's good to see a little bit more depth in the striker room with Santos back as well. Sam, now that we're a little bit further on, we talked about it earlier on in the week. Do you think there's a switch, up top? Do we see Kamara there? I know they subbed him out a little bit earlier, which I thought was interesting, around the 60th minute. Do you think we get a similar lineup in this one?
If we do, if you do see a switch, I think it'll be more Santos for Kamara, and you'll see Santos and Dado possibly up top.
It's a good show.
Which, I mean, at that point, you're just trying to apply pressure in that first half, right? Because ultimately, you're going to try and get a goal in that first half, and if you do, then you're going to kind of bunker down in the second half and just, honestly, probably play for that 1-0 or 2-1 or whatever. Honestly, really like playing away. You can get whatever points you want. Or if they don't get anything the first half, obviously not try for something in the second half via subs, but more of if we stumble upon a goal in the second half, that's great. If not, we'll take 1 point and we'll take 4 points here in the last 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at a team, so they're It's kind of interesting here for Real Salt Lake. They've had a good run of form. They've actually won 3 matches in a row. They haven't lost since May 31st. It's kind of wild. I didn't think that they were that great this
What
year.
was the score line for the Timbers game?
They won 1-0
Okay.
just this past
Yeah.
Wednesday. They beat Houston 1-0. They beat St. Louis. They tied Sporting KC. They beat DC. They haven't played great teams. They lost to the Galaxy. I think they actually had the first win for the Galaxy, I believe, right? Galaxy's first win was against
Probably.
kind of wild. But yeah, last loss was May 31st,
Right.
so for I guess looking at like the fact that Inter Miami hadn't lost in a while, we ended
Yeah.
their streak. We ended Messi's brace streak as well.
Well, and
Let's
another
go
one.
end this
Yeah.
Real Salt Lake, streak where they haven't been beat.
Well,
So
we're on a streak of our own against the West. So one of the streaks is going to end, this weekend.
yeah, no, absolutely. It'll be a fun one to watch. 9:30 p.m. on Saturday night. Everyone stay tuned for that one. Sam, some miscellaneous news before we go here. Chidozie Awaziem is headed back to France, former FC Cincinnati player who would have loved him have him in the squad, honestly, this year, but is going back actually to France. I don't think he was in France to start his career, actually. I
Yeah.
want to say he was in Portugal when we got him. He's going to Nantes, I believe. They were mid-table in Ligue 1 last year. But good for Cheeto. It sounds like, his family wasn't able to come to the U.S. I had seen a little bit of talk, Sam. Do you think we dodged a bullet potentially if we would have had to maybe transfer this guy out mid-season if he was with FCC?
Maybe. I know we signed Hadebe on a free, so maybe he's still out there, but I don't know. I mean, Cheeto, we saw the quality that he had, intimidating as hell. I mean, but yeah, I think ultimately, like you said, if his family didn't even come to the US, this was just kind of just a stopping point in the MLS, get some game time, and then hop back over the pond, if you will. So yeah, wish the best of luck to him in France.
Yeah, and another miscellaneous news here. I had seen this rumor. We love the rumor season here, for FC Cincinnati. Our window opens a week from now,
Yep.
so we can officially have these guys come in. Apparently rumored out of Poland that Jurgen Alidium, I believe he's a defensive midfielder, plays for a team over in Poland that we apparently had some interest in this player. He's 26 years old. Interesting guy, looking for a new contract from what I'm reading. So we'll see. Might be a solid find for us. I think on Transfer Market, he was about $2 million on evaluation. So pretty experienced guy, I think would be a nice addition. But the question would be like, how could we fit this guy into the roster?
Yeah, he's not coming in to be rotation.
But the fact, like with that, yeah, number one. But number two, we don't have an international spot right now. So where does this guy, fit for us in what the roster looks like?
Yeah.
If I had to say a midweek card, I know we're not doing midweek cards, but it's the fact that Rodrigo De Paul is going to Miami and somehow fit into their roster. So again, like what's going on here with this league? That's for another day, another conversation. But stay tuned. We'll see if something comes out of that rumor. Sam, again, pumped about this one. A 3-0 victory against Inter Miami. Any final thoughts?
No. I mean, look at this format. You guys are seeing the first reaction on Chatterbox today. So appreciate you guys tuning in for this one. And obviously, like Ryan said, stay up for that 9:30 match on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll see you guys next week.